Previously on the Great Ace Attorney Adventures. So, dear lady, once again, if we may trouble you for your name and occupation, please. Blah, 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 blah. She'd like to apologize for disappearing from the scene. She said that she was due to make a presentation at the university, so she had to leave immediately. Sure. Yeah, gunshot goes off and she's like, oh, well, will you look at the time? Got to go. But if you're going to continue with this preposterous claim that the refined lady was concealing a firearm, the prosecution demands they support your assertion with facts. In other words, he wants evidence. Ugh. Evidence, evidence, evidence. What is this, a court of... Oh, yeah. Right. Pockets in my outfit. I have nowhere to hide a gun. Those are the witness's own words on the matter. Ugh. That's ridiculous. If only I was allowed to lift up her dress, I could prove it. Don't do that if you want to get arrested for a completely different reason. Yes, immediately after the incident, I checked to make sure the lady was not carrying a weapon. I distinctly remember her saying, I'm not. Okay, case shut. Case closed. Well done, Mr. Police Chief. Surely you carried out a physical search, Inspector? No. I didn't think of that, to be honest. Yes, of course. I mean, I'd be delighted to help. Especially if it helps relations between my country and yours. Miss Brett, you speak Japanese? No, let's get back to the... Oh no! What have you done to my hair? What's up, everybody? This is Jackmar, and welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to continue with the Great Ace Attorney Adventures, and things are heating up. So in the last episode, we got to question our new witness. What was her name? Jezely Brett, which I still have no idea if I'm pronouncing that right. I feel like there's a pun in there somewhere. Actually discovered a couple of other puns, which I'll talk about after I'm done with my intro. But first off, we got to question her, and you know she didn't speak, quote unquote speak Japanese, or so we thought, and she was very posh, very sophisticated, regal, wearing her fancy clothes, her fancy dress. But yeah, and we're trying to prove that she could have carried a gun on her, that she shot the professor, and we came to the conclusion that none of that happened, that the gun was a total red herring, and that she in fact poisoned the professor. That the professor was shot after he was already dead. And that holds up. We found that she was taking the glass away from the crime scene, which if it had traces of poison in it, that would make sense. So yeah, things are heating up, and now he's got to prove that, she did it, that she was able to poison the professor. And now our little assistant friend, I forget her name, showed up at the last minute with what looks like some decisive evidence. So we're about to jump in and find out what she found for us. But first, if we jump into the court record real quick. While I was editing the last video, maybe even the one before, one of them, I was looking, hearing the names over and over again. Like I think these two, like, Ayesa Nosa, I think that's supposed to be like, yes sir, no sir. Kind of a stretch, but that's what it sounds like after, when I was reading it back and reading the name. Yes sir, no sir. Sounds like yes sir, no sir. And then, I'm not sure about the full name, but Curio, like he's a purveyor of curios, antiquities. So that's one. Again, I'm sure the Brett, the Brett, is probably short for Brit. And Jezeel, again, don't know how to say that word. So I apologize if you're watching this and I'm butchering it. I apologize. Oh, there she is, Suzato Mikotoba. She's only 16. I'm telling you, they're always young, cute girls. The judicial assistant of defense lawyer Kazuma Asagi. Okay, so she works at she's the assistant. I guess she works at his law office, or however that works in this time period. 22nd November, 1:14 p.m., Supreme Court of Judicature, Courtroom 2. Here we go. There she is. See what she found. Well, I understand you are the judicial assistant to the defense. But why the sudden ingress into my courtroom? Ha! A judicial assistant? And a woman, no less? The rules state that females are not permitted into this court of law other than to testify. Yes, I fully understand. I ask only for 5 minutes of time. I have some vital evidence that I must hand over to the defense. Ha! You're too late, little girl. This trial has already been concluded. Nonsense. Shut up, man.
5 minutes. I will not allow a moment more.
But, Your Excellency! I am most grateful.
Yes. Hey! Now we got 3 people up here. Who exactly are you?
I'm sorry. There's no time. Please, simply accept this for now.
What is it? A report about something? Written in English. Let's see.
It's Jeslie Brett's research.
The Englishwoman's? There's gotta be something in here. Something condemning her.
After the trial resumed earlier, I hurried back to the university. I went to Dr. Wilson's laboratory in the medical facility and borrowed this paper.
Oh yes, that's right. Miss Brett was studying under the professor, wasn't she? So, does this research, whatever it is, have something to do with the case?
I'm afraid I don't know. I haven't been able to listen to the proceedings of the trial myself.
Oh, no, of course not. So is he just hoping that we'll find something?
Special characteristics of Cure-Air and its effects on human subjects. Interesting.
Cure-Air? What's that? I've never heard that word before.
Time's up! The prosecution demands the immediate removal of this female trespasser from the courtroom.
Is that 5 minutes? I don't think so.
There was too little time for me to read it in detail, but I've summarized what I could on a note just inside the cover. If you think it could be valuable, please cast your eye over it.
Yes. We should definitely get a closer look. This is wonderful, thank you. Okay, a report detailing an unknown poison that Miss Brett has been researching during her time at Yume University. Maybe poison, perhaps?
Goodbye then, and good luck.
That was quick, but thank you! She disappears into the shadows. Okay, I'm gonna just take a look at it. So can I examine it further? Yes. A poison made from the bark of certain trees in the jungles of South America. Okay, there we go. A poison. The hunters of the region have used it since ancient times to incapacitate their prey. Okay, so I guess it's used for, like, animals to, you know, I guess to kill them or to, you know, to tranquilize them, maybe. Effects. Instant paralysis of the entire body and subsequent death, even in minute doses. Ooh, paralysis of the entire body. Oh. Maybe, if the professor wasn't dead before he was shot, maybe there's a chance he was paralyzed. Route of entry. The above mentioned effects occur when the poison enters the body through a wound, such as that inflicted by a blowpipe dart. Okay, yeah, that sounds like a tranquilizer. Interesting. Practical applications. Due to its ability to render the human body paralytic, it's believed that the toxin could have application as an anesthetic. However, a solution for the respiratory arrest caused as a result of the full body paralysis must be found first, or patients would die of suffocation. Oh, this sounds very unpleasant. So I'm sure we're gonna have to come back to this at some point. They might even ask me, like, on which page are you referring to refute this, you know, this point, blah 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 blah. Okay, let's get back to it. You have had long enough, Counsel. We cannot detain our English guest any longer. I ask the prosecution and the defense now, one last time. Does either side have any further evidence to present to the court? I presume not, but...
The prosecution has made its case convincingly enough already. Nothing more to add, Your Excellency.
Ryunosuke, we're out of options here. This really is our very last chance. Yes, I know. Bam! Your Excellency, the defense does have new evidence. That look. The unyielding stare of a true Japanese warrior. That's me. Yeah. Well, Miss Brett?
Yes, Your Excellency?
If you wouldn't mind, perhaps you could grace us with your presence a little longer.
It's a delightful invitation, but I'm afraid it's not so very long until tea time. I'll have to politely decline.
Forgive me, Miss Brett. It seems I wasn't clear. I realize it was phrased as a question. However, sit down. You're not going anywhere. I must ask you to treat that as an order. Ooh, Judge getting all feisty. I like it.
I've said it many times before, but the Japanese language makes no sense.
My apologies, dear lady. Bam! So, counsel, what is this new evidence that demands the court's attention?
Clearly, it's this notebook we just got moments ago, so let's present that.
Yes!
Yes! Miss Jesley Brett, we understand you were studying under Dr. Wilson at Yuma University doing research. What of it? Research by sheer coincidence, perhaps? Into a deadly poison? What? Preposterous.
Poison? Where are you going with this, counsel?
A toxin known as Cuirae, Your Excellency. Even the slightest amount of this deadly poison entering the body leads to instant death.
Objection!
Objection!
What? What complete and utter nonsense! Cuirae, you say? I've never even heard of it. You wouldn't have done. What do you mean? I mean that you wouldn't have heard of Cuirae before, for one very simple reason. It doesn't exist in our country. It doesn't exist. Correct. Which means, no matter what test the police can do for toxins, they never identify Cuirae. Why? Because there is no test available here that can identify the presence of this highly deadly poison. What? Yeah.
Order! 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 Shut up, all of you! Counsel, does this deadly poison truly exist?
According to this report, authored by the visiting research student from England, the Cuirae has long been used by the tribespeople of South America as a poison to lace their arrows. It seems that it's reasonably well known among European doctors and scientists. To lace their arrows? The report states that it's produced from the extract of a tree that grows deep in the Amazonian jungle, and it was first brought back to Europe at the turn of the century by explorers. It claims the animals shot by arrows laced with Cuirae suffered instant death. Doesn't that about sum it up, Miss Brett? Brett?
Objection!
Trumpery! These aspersions are utter trumpery! To start with, if the victim had been administered some of the so-called deadly poison, he would have been squirming and writhing in pain, and the other diners would have surely noticed.
That's true. What do you say to that, Inspector?
Obviously, I would have noticed a disturbance like that. I don't remember anything like that either. I didn't notice the professor being in any kind of pain. According to this, however, it's the other way around. What do you mean, the other way around? They get paralyzed. The very fact that the victim didn't show any visible signs of distress is evidence that Cuirae was used.
Explain yourself, counsel.
The moment this toxin enters a person's system, it causes instant paralysis. In other words, afflicted victims lose all strength and are completely unable to move. Even if they were in total agony, there would be no visible signs of pain at all. How terrible. Obviously, if a man lost all strength in his muscles, he'd collapse on the floor. But with a chair under him for support, as Dr. Wilson did, the effects could go largely unnoticed. But I don't follow, Kazuma. That's just paralysis. I thought the poison caused instant death. Maybe not immediate? Oh no, he just said instant death. The full explanation is extremely unpleasant. The poison causes immediate paralysis, as I said, leaving the victim unable to move. But after a short time, the paralysis is so severe, it causes the muscles that control respiration to fail. That sounds like a painful way to go. Respiration? Breathing? In other words, the actual cause of death is suffocation. Ugh. And all the while the victim is conscious and aware, just unable to move. Ugh, that sounds very unpleasant. That's hideous!
To the observer, it would look almost like the victim was slipping peacefully into an endless sleep. But for the victim himself, his final moments would be a living hell. That is the true nature of this deadly Curare poison. Ooh. And you're suggesting that this bottle, Council? Now that I think about it, though, like, based on what we now know about how the poison works, it doesn't make sense that this guy, the police officer there, the police chief, whatever he is, would have sipped it or gotten some in on him, because what he's showing, vomiting blood and stuff, doesn't sound like it has anything to do with this poison. Again, unless he took, like, a very, very small dose of something that makes it so that it's not lethal and doesn't work the same way, I don't know. It just doesn't seem likely anymore. Actually contains this terrifying poison.
Objection!
This is all very convenient, isn't it? A hitherto unknown poison for which there is no means of testing. What a happy tale for the defense.
Ahem. If I may.
All these facts. You think you're so clever, but you must... Shut up.
It is you who must be taught.
Of course. My bee. Dear lady!
So, this is how you Japanese behave, is it?
What?
You steal another's honest hard work and then announce the results as if you discovered them. I'm appalled. What a loathsome act.
Well, Miss Brett, I don't know why I keep saying Miss Brett. Miss Brett, the feeling is mutual.
Whatever do you mean?
Capitalizing on the unfortunate circumstances of an innocent man to frame him for a heinous crime. That really is a loathsome act. Wouldn't you agree?
Objection!
Enough of this. I, for one, refuse to accept it. The idea of some poison that doesn't even exist in the great empire of Japan is breaking the rules.
Ha 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 ha.
Eat it. I mean, hee hee. What's so funny?
Oh, excuse me, Your Excellency.
Yes, Miss Brett?
May I borrow that bottle for a moment, please?
Well, yes, I don't see, why not? As long as you don't do anything to it. I'm not sure what you could do. Oh, hello. Are you gonna test it for you? You're gonna test it, aren't you? Here we go.
Cheers, mate. Don't get too big for your boots, you insignificant little island boys.
Sorry.
To an Englishwoman such as myself, this whole affair is a farcical comedy. Your little police games and these foolish courtroom antics, it's laughable, really. But I'm getting bored of it all now. It's time for the games to end. Cheers.
She just like eats it and like keels over. Oh, that was a bad idea.
That was a bad idea.
Wait, what? What are you doing?
Dying. No sparkle left at all. How appropriate for this shabby affair.
That's not good for us. Dot 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 dot. Dot 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 dot. Well, this is awkward. Ellipses, 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 ellipses.
Goodness. Whatever is the matter? You all look quite stunned. So, no Curare. The bottle was clean. Is that what you're saying? Ha 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 ha. You look quite incredulous, little boy. But of course, that's the simple truth. Thank you for presenting the findings of my research so concisely here in this grand venue. Most kind.
Grrr.
Thank you, waiter. Now then, Your Excellency.
Yes, Miss Brett.
I should like to be excused now, please. I think I've given more than enough of my time.
for the furtherance of friendship between our countries?
Ah, yes, dear lady. We are most gratified with all the assistance you have given.
No, don't let her escape.
This doesn't make sense. There had to have been poison in that bottle. So how? How did she swallow a whole glass and live to tell the tale? I don't understand it.
Well, I suppose if nothing else, that little Far Eastern charade will make for interesting conversation at the next party I attend in London.
There has to have been poison in that bottle. Doesn't there? But there can have been. Because otherwise she would have keeled over dead.
Gotta think.
Come on, Ryunosuke. We have all the clues now. That bottle of water.
Did it say anything about how it's administered? Like, somehow maybe you can drink it? Maybe it's only fatal if you're... It did say something about darts, right? Route of entry. The above-mentioned effects occur when the poison enters the body through a wound. Okay, I remember reading this, so it specifically says through a wound. Yeah, okay, and it says that's when they occur. Okay. There we go. So, yes. Contains poison, right? The culprit did put Cuerre poison into Dr. Wilson's carbonated water. The defense refuses to change its position.
You're serious?
Objection!
Fool! Are you blind? There is no possible way that bottle could contain poison. I mean, we just saw Miss Brett drinking the water from it.
That's right. Which rather complicates your argument, I think.
And I believe that complication can be explained. We got the evidence right here, baby. How exactly? Listen up, Brett.
I need to think through all the things that don't quite add up here, one by one. I'm sure the answer is in the evidence we have in the court record somewhere. It has to be. Very well. If the defense truly intends to assert this claim, then I must ask you to support the assertion with evidence. What explains how the witness was able to consume the supposedly poisoned water unscathed?
Okay, it's this, and I believe the page was page 2, right? In case it asks. Yeah. Page 2, okay.
Yes!
There we go. The answer to this riddle is right here in Miss Brett's own research report.
Objection!
That's not a valid explanation. No? After all, we don't speak English. The report is utter gibberish. This impudent young scoundrel is trying to ridicule the court, Your Excellency.
I'm not trying to ridicule anyone, honest. I'm just reading Suzuto-san's notes. I concur. This report is too extensive to be considered in its entirety by the court. You will direct us to the pertinent section, counsel. Which section of the report reveals the alleged answer to this riddle?
Oh, shoot. Can I look? Oh, I can look. Okay. Special characteristics. Okay. I was going to choose this one anyway, because I assumed they were in order.
We've been hearing a lot about this Cuerre poison. There we go. When the music stops, you know you're onto something. And it's left me curious about something. Oh? Counsel? What is it?
Well, it sounds as though indigenous hunters have been using this poison for years and years. To lace the heads of the arrows that they shoot at whatever prey they're hunting. Which would mean they'd have to create a wound and then the poison would seep in.
So we've been led to believe, yes?
And the point of hunting is to catch prey to eat. Get to the point, please! But if they were to use these laced arrows, doesn't that mean there would be traces of poison left in the prey the hunters were going to eat?
Yes. Good point.
So surely the hunters wouldn't want to eat their prey, would they? Because then they'd be eating poison. Ah, yes.
Good gracious, counsel! No, that would be madness!
But I actually found the answer to that conundrum. In this research paper here. Under special characteristics, it says this. The poison starts to work after entering the body through a wound.
Through a wound, you say? I see. That makes sense.
Yes. The mention of that particular detail seemed a little strange to me, though. But but it all makes sense when you interpret what's written like this. When Cuiraire enters the body through an open wound, it has terrifying poisonous effects. However, when it enters the body via the mouth, it has no poisonous effects whatsoever.
What?
Oh, pooh. Miss Brett, you authored this research. You knew Curaire's special characteristics. And you knew that you can make a spectacle of drinking that water without any danger to yourself. What do you have to say to that, Miss Swanhead?
You meddling little...
Oh!
Rapscallion!
Oh, I just went to Ouchie's voice there.
Well, Ryunosuke, it turns out you're an even better lawyer than I thought you'd be.
Really? Me? A lawyer?
Objection!
I like the sound of that.
All this poison talk is fascinating, I'm sure. But I fail to see how it possibly... So, the ill-bred little puppy has a new toy to play with. Some facts he read in a book. But I'm afraid knowledge doesn't suit you, little boy. It only makes you look silly.
What are you trying to say?
Pay attention, little boy. Your schoolboyish logic has a fatal flaw.
Schoolboyish? Flaw?
As even your brain has managed to deduce, Curaire's safe to ingest. It seems likely that its effects are neutralized by the acidic nature of the gastric succus.
Oh, yes, well, of course. Gastric suckers? What are they?
So, if this lethal poison is completely harmless when drunk, the professor wouldn't have died when he swallowed it, would he?
Ah, yes, that is a valid point.
That's right!
Good gracious!
That's basic science. Science that even a schoolboy should be able to understand, no?
That is the question. Order. Order in court. Order! Because we know that he does have a bullet wound on him. The bullet. But we kind of established that he was shot after he was already dead. Or I guess at least paralyzed. So, unless that wound was caused by something else, and we were led to believe it was caused by a bullet wound, if that makes sense, like, well, maybe he was shot in the wound, like, maybe the wound initially was caused by something else, and then, and then he was poisoned that way, and then she did shoot the bullet into his body too, and that's also to cover the wound up. Because then it looks like, the wound came from the bullet, but it was made by something else before he was shot with the bullet. Does that make sense? Let's go. That's my theory. If logic holds, if the lady and the professor drank the same poison, they would be affected in the same way. Are you trying to suggest?
Yes, this Curaiire poison is completely irrelevant to the case on trial. That's right. Surely even a little cockroach like you could understand something as simple as that.
Ooh, black and white. Think, Ryunosuke, think. What is this welling up inside of me? I've never felt like this before. It's a sort of conviction to break down all the discrepancies. It's so intense, almost rage-like. And more than anything else, it's an animalistic desire to take down my prey. He just lunges at her. Die! There we go. Is that our first objection? I don't think so, Miss Jessie Brett.
How dare you use that tone with me?
Ooh, look at that, shocked. Oh, it's funny, she's holding the mask forward, like, like really big eyes. I love it. You know very well that there is no fatal flaw here. You know exactly why, even though both you and the victim swallowed the same poison. You are alive, but Dr. Wilson is dead. Counsel, I'm sure I don't need to remind you. You must provide compelling evidence, as we now know that this poison is completely harmless when ingested. Why would Dr. Wilson alone have been killed by the Curie? I'm gonna go with this. I guess, right? Like, he has a wound, right? If my theory holds up. I mean, again, the post-mortem report could also imply the same thing, I guess? I don't know. I'm not 100% confident yet, but I don't think I have anything else that I can think of right off the top of my head, so let's go.
Take that!
Uh-oh, I don't like that. I'm sorry, Counsel, but the slipshod manner in which you taught that evidence before the court did not inspire confidence. Huh? Listen, Ryunosuke. There's no need to overthink this. We know that Curie's toxic effects only come into play when the poison enters the body via a wound. Right. So that can only mean that when Dr. Wilson drank his glass of water, he must have had a wound somewhere that let the poison in. Exactly. That's what I was trying to get at. Oh. Oh! Got it. Got it. Counsel, I'm sure I don't need to remind you. You must provide compelling evidence. As we now know that okay, I think we read this, right? Got it. I'm glad I didn't take health away. So, yeah, the medical report. Or I didn't have to click on it. A record of dental work. On the day of the murder, the victim had undergone dental treatment and had been prohibited from eating or drinking anything but water. Take that! As Miss Brett so readily pointed out, she drank the same water as the professor. However, there was a fundamental and fatal difference between the two diners. A fatal difference? The toxic effects of Curie are only felt when the poison enters the body through an open wound. So for a healthy person with no injuries, drinking it is completely harmless. But did she know that he had the dental work done? Because then, she would have to have known, otherwise it would be tragic if this was some kind of accident. But, yeah, because otherwise she wouldn't have attempted it that way. She would have attempted it to, to stab him or something. Some kind of outside wound. What if there was a wound inside the mouth of the person drinking the poisoned water? Inside? Silly boy. Yes, like the wound you might have if you had just been to the dentist and had a tooth extracted, for example. Miss Brett, you've acknowledged many times in your testimony already that you were well aware of Dr. Wilson's dental appointment that day. So that's it. You used that knowledge to orchestrate this. Okay, so she did know. I guess it makes sense she would. Is she laughing? I don't like to repeat myself, but honestly, I can't resist. These childish courtroom games and your half-baked arguments are so puerile. What? What do you mean? Don't worry, little schoolboy. You'll find out soon enough. Uh-oh. Here we go. You see, when you leave vital evidence lying around, you never know what might happen to it. No. I mean, it could just slip. Catch it. Somebody catch it. Oh dear, how careless of me. I'm afraid some crucial evidence may have just been tragically destroyed. No. No! Really? What is it? What just happened? It's the English woman. She just smashed the bottle. And in the Supreme Court, what a terrible blunder. Officer, what are you waiting for? Collect up as much of the water from that broken bottle as possible at once. You're wasting your time. This delightful carpet under my feet here was a gift from the British Empire. I assure you, it will soak up the water beautifully. You have neither the technology nor the presence of mind to recover it. There's gotta be something we can do. How could you? You won't get away with this. You can thump the bench and shout as much as you like, little boy. But I'm afraid we'll never know now, will we?
if there really was poison in the bottle, or not.
You.
And let us not forget, we still have some very compelling evidence left intact. Isn't that right, counsel for the prosecution? Oh, of course, of course! You're referring to this photographic print, I presume, dear lady? That's right, and really, looking at this photograph, it's as clear as day, isn't it? The poor professor was sitting with his back to me. So of course, the only person who could have shot him from the front is the little schoolboy.
Objection!
Lies!
No, you killed the victim that day, using Curare. And then, in order to frame Ryunosuke Naruhodo for the crime, you waited until he picked up the pistol you'd arranged for him to find on the floor, before you shot the professor dead in the chest with your own hidden gun. Then, in the confusion that followed, all you had to do was turn the dead professor in his chair around. You see, you had every opportunity to commit this crime. Heh heh heh. What a wonderful imagination you have, young man. A hidden gun, you say? And I shot the professor's dead body, did I? Well, I'm terribly sorry, but you don't have a shred of evidence. Exactly! And as you have nothing to support your wild claims, the prosecution's stance remains unchanged. The victim, Dr. John H. Wilson, was killed by a gunshot to the chest. Delivered in cold blood by the accused, Ryunosuke Naruhodo.
Ugh. This is unbelievable. How can this be happening? We had her, but now? Is she really going to get away with it? The way she destroyed that evidence was obscene. Ryunosuke!
Yes?
We've come this far, but now you're the only one who can finish it.
What? What do you mean?
We've lost a vital piece of evidence, it's true. So if there are any clues left for us to use now, they must be in your head.
In my head?
Hurry, get him out! Get him out! You told me before that your powers of observation were the one thing you could really depend on.
Well, yes, that's true, but I didn't manage to notice that this woman was a foreigner with a swan on her head. So think back again now. Try to remember every last detail about the scene that day. Everything you saw, everything you felt, every color, every smell. What I saw, what I felt. Every color. There is no color. Okay. So there's blood on the steak. I mean, is it from the steak? Is it like a rare steak or something? Probably not. It's probably his. But what does that mean? Maybe what I said is true. Maybe my initial theory is correct. I don't know though. I don't know if that's what that implies. Is Kazuma right? Somewhere in the vibrant memory of the same scene in my head. Could there be another clue to expose the identity of Dr. Wilson's killer? There's nothing, I give up. No, there's gotta be a clue. Actually, Kazuma, I think I might have something. Thinking back over everything I saw, I think I might have uncovered another clue. Haha, you always have something up your sleeve, don't you, Ryunosuke? Come on then, let's wipe the smug smile off the English woman's face with some evidence. Alright, I can't wait. It's been niggling. Niggling? It's been niggling me for a while that something feels amiss in my memories of that day. Whatever it is could be the key to arriving at the truth about all this. It's here somewhere. The clue that shows who Dr. Wilson's real killer must have been. I mean, this? Right? Like, maybe the fork if he was stabbed in the hand. If he was stabbed in the hand, I'm assuming the blood.
Take that!
Inspector Hosonaga, answer me this. Riddle me this. Yes? What is it? Ugh.
He's still miles away, probably thinking about that bottle being smashed. A little spacey? As you've said a number of times now, you strive for perfection in your investigations, don't you? Absolutely. I wonder, therefore, if perhaps you took anything else from the scene of the crime. Like, for instance, the plate of steak that you took to the victim's table that day?
Objection!
Wait a minute! Where are you going with... Where are you going with this, little boy? It's just a memory that's been troubling me. What memory? I saw the scene shown in this photographic print with my own eyes that day. And I saw that on the wooden base of the plate that the steak was served on was a spattering of blood. What? Oh shoot. Oh really? And what of it? Obviously that must have happened when you shot the professor. No, that can't be the case. Take a good look at the photograph and the relative position of everything there. The plate of steak is almost directly behind the victim. If I'm supposed to have shot Dr. Wilson in the chest from the front... Right, okay, so it shows that he was probably turned around after. There's no way that blood from the victim could have ended up directly behind him. Ah! And I think the autopsy report says there was no exit wound, so it's not like it splattered from the back of his body or anything. Yes. For blood to have made it onto the plate, it implies the plate was between the victim and the shooter. Which means the shooter must have been sitting opposite the professor, as you were. Josie Brett? I beg your pardon?
Objection!
This is beyond ridiculous. Fabricated nonsense. Is the court seriously expecting to believe something the accused has apparently just remembered seeing?
Hold it!
This could be the moment that my entire career in the police force has been leading to. Inspector, you mean... Yes, I took the plate, in the interest of preserving evidence from the scene of the crime. I took it, meat and all, and I don't care if they call me a crime scene thief because of it. You did what? I took the steak they had been eating, Miss Brett. I took the steak that the sergeant had been eating. And I did it all in the name of justice! And we can find out for sure whether or not there's a bloodstain on Miss Brett's plate. We must examine it, now! Bring it out, bring it out. Inspector? The court wishes to examine the plate from the victim's table immediately. Yes, sir! Here we go. There's no... I can't see how they can get out of this one. Sorry for the delay. Here's what you ordered. The steak. Well, what about the blood? Is there blood on it? Of course there isn't. Quickly, Inspector. The blood, man! Show the court! Of course. Examine the plate at your leisure. And... I don't see blood. It could have been wiped off, though. No. No blood. No blood anywhere. But no, that's... impossible! I know I saw it. I'm sure of it. It was right there on the table behind the professor. There was blood on the side of the plate. What an unbecoming expression, little boy. You see, this is why I always say you can't trust what the Japanese tell you. I couldn't agree more in the case of this disgrace to the Empire. I believe we may finally have reached a conclusion in this trial. Let's hope so. This let's pretend attempt at courtroom proceedings is painful to watch. But I do promise to do my best to forget all about it when it's over. Dang it, dang it, dang it, dang it! Ha! This sorry-looking steak reveals the facts all too clearly.
If the sorry-looking accused wishes to examine it again, be my guest.
Okay, the plate of steak. Okay, we're definitely going to do that. The meal Miss Brett ordered for lunch. It was removed from the victim's table after the incident. Was the plate I saw, or thought I saw, just a figment of my imagination? We're about to find out. Okay, here's the steak itself. Oh, I don't know what that is. Huh? What in the world is this? I think it's a Koban coin. Ah, and the hallmark is from the Hoei era, I believe. No, I don't mean what is it? Is that the one that the old man was looking for? I mean, what's it doing there? Wait, did you say it was a Hoei Koban? Yes, and apart from the meat juices, it looks to be in good condition. I imagine it's very valuable. This isn't the first time today that there's been talk of Hoei Koban. I've heard of pearls before swine, but I've never heard of bullion and buelan. Okay? Don't know what that means. And I don't think you ever will again. This is extraordinary, though. This means... Is there blood on that? Like, what's it doing there? Should I lift it? I mean, we could check this again, I guess. I just want to check this before I check that. This emblem on the side of the plate. Is it a cat? It's a cow, obviously. Most likely because the restaurant's signature dish is beef steak. It seems a lot of different restaurants have their own unique tableware. So this is the symbol of La Carnival, is it? Sorry, I just love saying it like that. Okay, let's see if we can get a closer look at this. I certainly never expected to find a precious coin underneath this thick cut of meat. And it's from the Hoei era too. That would make it really quite valuable. It's well marinated in the juices as well, look. See, that's what I was wondering. That's what I was wondering, if like it could have been absorbed by the steak. Like maybe maybe it was leaning up against the steak and it, you know, it seeped into the steak. And that's why it's not there. What, are you thinking of eating it? No, but the next time I order a steak in an expensive restaurant, one thing's for sure. My heart's going to be racing as I lift up the meat and peer underneath for a prize. Yeah! Give me that gold, baby. I think you might have the wrong end of the stick about this, Ryunosuke. A Koban coin underneath the steak. There's only one logical explanation. I'm honestly still not sure how it got there. I'm trying to think. I mean, if it belongs to the old man, it fell on the floor, right? And he was looking for it? How did it end up under the steak? I'm honestly not sure. Is that all there is to look at? Was the plate I thought I saw just a figment of my imagination? This is it now. I've lost. Not so fast. Ryunosuke. It's not over yet. Not until the final gavel. Huh? Never stop believing in yourself. Don't stop believing. Sorry. Keep looking forward no matter what. Believe in myself? Really? Maybe I should at least examine the evidence for myself. As the evidence requested by the defense has not been shown to be problematic in any way, I presume any further examination of evidence in this trial will be unnecessary. Does the defense have any objection? That bloodstain was going to clinch the trial for me. Can this plate of steak reveal any other clues at all? There's gotta be, right? I don't know. I mean, we found that there was another clue. We found that there was something under the steak. Your Excellency, please, wait. This plate of beef is hiding another clue. Another clue that will reveal the shocking truth.
Objection!
The only thing that's shocking here is your unhealthy fascination with beef steak. Your Excellency, I think I've made myself clear, haven't I? I will not be able to turn a blind eye to any more unnecessary procrastination in this trial. I'm sorry, Miss Brett, but we must ensure a thorough examination of the evidence.
I will not give a ruling until I'm completely satisfied that all reasonable doubt has been dispelled.
I see. As a newly affirmed ally of my country, that's still your position, is it?
Thank you, Your Excellency. Thank you. Counsel for the defense, you will now clearly show the court to what you are alluding. Where precisely on this plate of beefsteak is this new clue to be found? I mean, I can't, it's kind of covered now, but I guess this?
Got it!
No, Counsel, I'm afraid that won't do. That was ambiguous at best. When you're asked to identify detail like this, you must do so knowing there is a penalty for mistakes.
The answer's right here in front of me, I'm sure of it.
So there's only one thing to do. Turn the steak over and over until I find something to help me out of this mess.
I mean, the only other thing I think I can even examine is the bowl thing. Is that what I'm looking for? Unless I'm trying to point out the juices. Like the steak juices. Because I don't know if I need to present... Oh! Huh? What in the world is this? I think it's a Koban coin. I didn't know I could do that. No, okay. No, I don't mean what is it. Okay, we already read this. See, there's no option press X to do anything, so I didn't know you could do that. Okay, so I'm assuming we want to present this. Now that we have it. I don't know if I should... Now I'm just going to present it and hope for the best.
Got it!
There we go.
Good. Good gracious, that's...
Oh, it's a Koban? Alright, that's probably the steak juices. What on earth? A Hoei Era 1 at that. Miss Brett, this is in fact the beef steak that you ordered at this restaurant on the day in question, is it? Maybe. Tell me. Why is there an old coin seemingly hidden underneath the meat? Tell us. What a ridiculous question. How should I know? I've never seen that thing before in my life. I don't know what that is, but I've been no part of it.
Objection!
I think you know too much. I fail to see how this is relevant. A coin under the meat? That could simply have been a careless mistake by the chef in a moment of distraction.
Objection!
Don't be absurd. We're supposed to believe that this happened by accident in the kitchen. A rare Hoei coin just happened to be hidden underneath that piece of steak. If this turns out to be irrelevant to the case, I'll rip up my ticket to Great Britain now. Right now. He's right. It can't be a coincidence. I'm still not sure the connection about specifically why the coin is there. Your Excellency.
Yes, Counsel?
A rare Hoei Koban just happened to be hidden underneath that piece of steak? If this turns out to be irrelevant to the case, I'll give up my lawyer job right now.
Objection!
By all means, don't let us stop you. No one invited you anyway.
Shut up!
Perhaps, little boy, you should realize that it is you who is irrelevant. Even though I'm the one on trial here? It's kind of all about me. The point is, it's essential that we ask the owner of this coin if he can explain what it's doing under that steak.
The owner?
Yes. It's obvious. There's only one person it can belong to. Yep, it's the old man. Curio. The owner of the Koban that was found underneath the beefsteak is... this guy. Curio Kurikuda.
Take that!
Obviously, it can only be the antique dealer and owner of Rasute, Curio Kurikuda-san. Curie? As in Mr. Cucumber or something? Honestly, these ridiculous Japanese names are quite unfathomable.
Oh yes. The old man who testified earlier alongside the military sergeant, correct?
Yes, Your Excellency. I remember him saying that he was up to something with his Koban coin when it happened. At exactly the moment the gun was fired. That's exactly what he said.
The gunshot interested me not. I was far too busy on the floor.
Too busy on the floor? Sorry, what were you doing?
Hunting for treasure. Indeed, the Hoei Era Koban, my prized coin. Then this Hoei era Koban, do you mean to tell me?
Objection!
No, please. Why would Kurakuta-san's Koban be sandwiched between the victim's beef steak and its plate? It makes no sense.
Yes!
Okay, I have a theory. What if the Koban coin fell underneath their table and some blood got on it? And so she had to hide it. So then she hid it under the steak. That's might be what happened. Which is why I'm asking to bring Kurakuta-san back to the witness stand so we can ask him. Officer, bring both witnesses that testified earlier back in here. Without a moment's delay. Yes, let's do it. I can't believe we've come back around to that pair again. But I have a hunch, a strong hunch, that if we chase down the real significance of this Koban, we'll find that's a key element in the case. Here we are, back. Oh, they're all up here now? Ooh, we got a 4-person witness thing going on. Oh, I gotta voice this guy. This guy killed my voice. What's this all about? Why have I been called up again? Don't you realize that it's dinner time for my little boy, Ido? Blow it, son. My son's belly is empty. He's fiercer than a pack of wolves. Exploited by the police we were, like miserable dogs forced to bear false witness. And when cast from this courtroom myself, I became a ruined man and trace. A worthless, withered antique. Nothing more have I to say. The sun is set on this Rasute shop owner's existence. Be that as it may, Kurakuta-san, something has come to light that requires your clarification. As far as your Rasute memory serves, have you ever... Wah! Yes! That's it! The one, the very exact one that it is! The resplendent, splendiferous Hoei treasure that my rusty bones managed to misplace that fateful day. It can't be! As I thought. Young man! Enlighten this decrepit old fool! Put me out of my misery! Where was my treasure? Where was it dropped? Oh, I'm not sure it was dropped anywhere. We found your coin sandwiched between a beef steak and its plate, soaking in the seasoned meat's juices. Sandwiched? Soaking? Seriously? Ha 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 ha. Clearly I couldn't have fallen there by accident. Which means... somebody must have hidden it there on purpose. Yes, I'm pretty sure my theory holds water. Somebody concealed my Hoei treasure between a slab of meat and a metal plate? Who would do such a thing? Such an unconscionable thing? I have some ideas. Excuse me. Could I say something? Yes, of course. Proceed, Inspector Hosonaga. I mentioned this earlier on my trial, but I was working undercover in the restaurant in order to investigate another case. Ah yes, that's right. The secret undercover operation. Le Carnaval is a high-class Western cuisine restaurant. It attracts wealthy diners, including many foreigners. Recently, there's been a run of similarly executed thefts targeting the restaurant's rich clientele. A number of such incidents have been reported to the police bureau. Wicked crimes, indeed. We wanted to nip the case in the bud quickly, especially with so many foreigners being affected. So that's why you were sent in undercover, is it? Actually, we still don't have a motive, do we? We don't know why she did it. That might come once we prove that she definitely did do it. She might reveal it to us. Yes. I took on the job of waiter at the restaurant in order to flesh out the criminal. Like, I don't know if we're gonna have to, like force her motive out of her, or if she, like I said, once we prove that she did it, she's just gonna spill it. It seems likely that this Koban incident is the work of the same thief.
So unbeknownst to us, there was a master thief at work in the restaurant on a regular basis. I don't know why I was talking like you for a moment, Ryunosuke. Might be. The place was already the scene of several crimes, it seems. I don't know about the master thief part, but the identity of the person who stole and hid Kurakuda-san's Koban is all too clear. What? What? I think the court would like to hear the defense's view on this matter. Tell us, who is the despicable scoundrel that stole Kurakuda-san's Koban and hid it in the stake? I think I know. Gotta be our Jezali Brett here.
Take that!
Yes. Seems like a likely candidate for a Koban thief. No, come on, Ryunosuke. Huh? You shocked me, Kazuma. Not as much as you shocked me. No one could have approached the table and noticed. Even if you're a crazy fool, you couldn't have missed that. I'm not sure we should be calling Kurakuda-san a crazy fool, Kazuma. It's you I was calling the crazy fool. Ah, maybe I'm on the wrong track here. Dang it! Okay, I was going off of my theory, but I do remember thinking that the general guy stole it. Or the baby, maybe, even. So I guess I'll go back to him. I actually kind of forgot about that. Tell us, who is this despicable scoundrel that stole Kurakuda-san's Koban and hid it on the stake? You literally have 2 bits of health left, so you better choose wisely. It's gotta be him, then. I don't know who else it would be, so...
Take that!
Yes, or the baby. Obviously, it can only be you. Sergeant Yasunosa. What? How? How dare you? You monster! Monster? I stole that Koban, did I? I'm the master thief of Le Carnaval, am I? You're seriously accusing me of these crimes, cadet? But it wasn't me. It was Ido. Ido was the mastermind behind all this. Yeah. Wah! Imagine the baby. It turns into like Boss Baby. Like the baby just jumps on the witness stand. It's like, yes, it was me. Goo goo. That I wouldn't put it past this game. You would push the blame for your crimes onto your own son, an innocent little baby? It's you who's the monster, Sergeant Nosa. Yeah. Clippity clap, clippity clap, clippity clap, clippity clap, clippity clap, clippity clap. Ouch! Broke his spine, did you? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Nippon Imperial Army, Sergeant Yasunosa, preparing to stand down in the Supreme Court, sir. Oh, okay. Okay, I thought I was right. I thought the baby was actually going to, like, take the stand and be like, yes, it was me. It was me, Goo-Goo. Do any of you know of the extraordinarily low wages the Nippon Imperial Army pays those it expects to keep our country safe? I understand that the temporary increase in taxation owing to the recently ended conflicts remains in place. And I've heard it's hard for lower-ranking soldiers to make a living, yes. All I want is to put a hot meal on the table for my son. That's why you were stealing things at the restaurant? The place is heaving with money. Every 3 days, I go there and do reconnaissance for a target. And I'd enjoy chopping my way through a good steak at the same time. It sounds like he doesn't bother with a knife and fork even, which is worryingly believable. I believe it. And your target that day was the old man and his Koban. That explains why you ate with him? Yes, sir. He was an easy mark. I slipped the coin into my pocket without any trouble at all. A veritable phantom thief you are. I get that reference. I was all set to leave the steak I was halfway through devouring when it happened. Bang. Okay, yes, when the professor was shot. So did he hide it in the steak? I knew that if the police conducted a search and found the coin in my pocket, I'd be finished. I do too. So I hid the incriminating evidence as fast as I could. on the double. Oh, okay, so he just hit it. That was the closest place, and he hit it there. I slipped it under the stake, hoping that I'd be able to rendezvous with it again at a later date. Why would you think that? That would be tough. To get that back. Like, as soon as they clean the plate, they'd see the coin. Okay, lots of dots. Everyone is stunned. Who's saying that?
This is ridiculous. Is it her? Perhaps you could carry on with this absurd prattling in your own time.
Well, Miss Brett?
Oh, of course, dear lady, of course. How rude of us. I'm quite sure there's no need to detain you any longer at all. Oh, my head! May the esteemed gentlewoman please be excused, Your Excellency?
Indeed. The theft of the koban was clearly perpetrated by this baby-saddled sergeant. It would certainly appear to be unrelated to Dr. Wilson's murder.
Oh, of course it is. Hiding a coin under a lump of meat? The sheer nonsense of such an idea astounds me.
No, nonsense, is it? Well, oof.
And as for picking up your steak and biting into it without using a knife and fork, it's beyond nonsense. It's pure madness.
Very well. Now that all questions concerning this witness's testimony have been answered, I see no further justification for detaining her. Miss Brett, you are free to leave.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Good luck, everyone. And good day.
I don't buy it.
Ryunosuke, what's the matter with you? This is no time for daydreaming.
Oh, no, it's just... something about Miss Brett's parting words there got me thinking.
I can't quite work out what exactly, but something she said jarred with me.
I feel like there was a contradiction in there somewhere. Something that didn't quite add up. If there was, I missed it. I'm not sure what he's getting at.
If that's the case, don't just stand there thinking. Make your voice heard.
Maybe we'll have to ask her to repeat it. Sorry?
You can think later, but if you don't call out now, it will be too late. The trial will be over.
Okay. Objection! Or hold it. That's right. We have nothing to object yet. Wait, Miss Brett!
What is it now?
I'm afraid, just one last time, there's something I'd like to ask you. I'd like you to explain the contradiction in your parting words from just a moment ago. A few moments ago.
What are you talking about? What contradiction?
Objection!
What new student nonsense is this? Well, what parting word are you talking about, Ryunosuke?
Okay, here we go.
Hiding a coin under a lump of meat? The sheer nonsense of such an idea astounds me.
Hiding a coin under a lump of meat... Wait. No, wait, that doesn't mean... No, we showed the meat to the court. For a moment I was wondering if he said he hid it under the meat. Okay, I'm not sure. Maybe that's a contradiction? Like, he didn't say it was hidden under a lump of meat. Maybe we didn't actually show that? That might be what it is, I'm not sure. Unless there's more.
And as for picking up your steak and biting into it without using a knife and fork?
Wait. Okay, that... I did think that was weird. But did we say anything about that? I feel like we did, but we weren't talking about her, were we?
It's beyond nonsense. It's pure madness.
Yes, I'm right. What she said there exposed an undeniable contradiction. It might be the second part. I'm going to need to see the evidence, counsel. If Miss Brett's words truly are contradictory, where is the evidence to prove it? She said without a knife and fork. There is a fork there? I don't know. Why would that have anything to do with anything? I don't know. Yeah, there's a... Oh, maybe this. There is a knife and fork there. I guess? She said without a knife and fork, but there was one there. That's gotta be it. I mean, I'm not positive, but... I'm gonna go with it.
Take that!
Did that do anything? Yeah, okay. The photographic print of the scene taken immediately after the incident occurred? What's interesting is the plate of steak they can see on the victim's table. The steak that Miss Brett has been eating before the professor was killed, yes? Go on. More accurately, Your Excellency, the steak that was on the victim's table just before the professor was killed.
Now you're just spitting hairs.
Not true. Doesn't something with the steak strike you as very unnatural?
Unnatural? What on earth do you mean?
It's extremely obvious. I'm talking about the shape of the edge where it's been eaten. Okay, I was not looking at that at all. I see you've noticed it too, Miss Brett. Notice what exactly, Counsel? Just a few moments ago, Miss Brett claimed no Englishman could ever even contemplate picking up a steak and biting into it without using a knife and fork.
Of course she did. She's a refined English gentlewoman herself.
And take a good look at the steak, in particular the edge where it's been eaten. I do see that. Okay. As you can see, there are clearly defined barbaric teeth marks there. I think I might have just lucked into that one. I was going with the knife and fork. Because I'm like, there was a knife and fork there. Whoops. Ah! Oh! Ah! It looks like Miss Brett has realized something. So, if the witness, as she claims, wouldn't contemplate eating anything without using a knife and fork, there shouldn't be teeth marks in the steak at all.
Objection!
But what is your actual point? Perhaps the delightful Miss Brett was ravenously hungry and couldn't help it.
Oh, that's a new look. It's like bashful. I see a little tinge of purple.
Oh, whatever you say, dear lady.
Did she say anything?
As I said, I really must be leaving now. Afternoon tea with the Minister of Justice cannot possibly wait any longer. Of course, of course. This will all be over in the blink of an eye. Rest assured, I'm about to put this rookie in his place. Just leave everything out. I've heard enough. You irritating little spectacled samurai relic. Of course, dear lady.
What's the matter, Miss Brett? Have we ruffled your feathers? Clearly, the witness knows what this means. She's realized the catastrophic implications these teeth marks in the steak have for her. Ryunosuke, do you know where you're going with this? Yes. Now at last it's all come together. The mysterious teeth marks in a steak that had allegedly been eaten with cutlery. The reason why the bloodstain I know I saw somehow seems to have disappeared. Oh! I got it. I got it. Did the blood splatter on the steak and she just took a bite out of it to hide it? So she kind of ate his blood, which is gross. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking, and that's what I'm going with. And most importantly, the evidence that proves once and for all who shot Dr. Wilson that day. I accept that these teeth marks in the steak are a little unnatural, as you put it, Counsel. But what exactly are you suggesting that tells us? Everything, Your Excellency. I could be wrong again. I'm not 100% positive in that theory. Everything? Yes. I believe that these barbaric teeth marks in the steak here amount to conclusive evidence in this case. Evidence that will prove beyond any doubt who shot Dr. Wilson. I mean, I guess you could... Couldn't you test, like, the teeth marks, I guess, with her teeth and see if they match? I don't know if that's a thing.
Conclusive evidence? How many times have I heard that today? You wouldn't know meaning of the phrase, typical Japanese empty threats.
How can you be so sure?
Oh, it's quite simple. If you really had such conclusive evidence, you would have presented it to the court long ago.
Actually, the evidence I'm talking about hasn't been brought before the court yet.
Hasn't been? What?
But just because it hasn't been shown yet, doesn't mean that the evidence does not exist.
Objection!
This is absurd. The trial has run several hours already, and you say there's evidence yet to be brought forward? This recording is over an hour. Hurry it up, would you?
Objection!
I don't, but there is someone who does have it. Someone in this very courtroom. And if that person is willing to submit the piece of evidence I'm referring to, it will solve every remaining mystery about this case. Okay, I'm not sure what he's getting at. I mean... Okay, we said he, right? Oh. Is it the Koban coin again? Very well. I have a feeling this will be my last request of the defense in this trial. I'm telling you, I know I feel like I know what's going on, but at the same time, I didn't mean to do that. Some of the pieces, the little threads, that's what I like about this, though. I like those kind of OMG moments, like, oh, that's what's happening. I mean, the only thing I can think of is maybe if she took a bite out of the steak while the Koban coin was there, did she leave teeth marks in the coin or something? Who possesses the conclusive evidence that will reveal the truth about this whole affair? Oh. Oh, maybe him. Oh, him.
Take that!
The answer is obvious. It's Inspector Hosonaga. What? I have it? Yes. You think I've been withholding conclusive evidence? That's ridiculous. Did he eat it? No, I'm not saying that. Everyone's attention has been focused on the steak with the teeth marks. Yes? Now, earlier this afternoon, Sergeant Nosa told the court the following. I'd enjoy chomping my way through a good steak. And as well as admitting to stealing Kuroketa-san's coin, he told us that he slipped it under the steak. You watch it, cadet. I'm a superior officer. Sergeant Nosa, could you please confirm something for me? Was the steak that you put the coin under, in fact, your own steak? Attention! Affirmative. Of course. I might be a soldier in the Imperial Nippon Army, but still. Oh, okay. I'm not brave enough to ask a foreign gentle lady if she'd mind me handling her meal to hide something in it. So they got switched. Oh, okay. So this isn't, okay. I get it now. In other words, the steak that the detective submitted as evidence earlier is not the one that was not Wilson's steak, or was not, Brett's steak at all. It was in fact Sergeant Nosa's meal.
Objection!
But that makes no sense! That plate was taken from the victim's table.
Objection!
Yet the gentlewoman doesn't take bites out of her steak, nor did she have an opportunity to steal the coin. Of course I didn't steal it. To even suggest such a thing would be an affront to the entire British Empire. Well then, how do you explain this paradox? Exactly. Surely you're not going to suggest that the sergeant switched the two steaks over? I don't think so. He's like, what? Dot. You did switch the plates. That's a negative. Well, after it happened, the, gunshot. When I saw the civilian had been murdered right in front of my eyes like that, I panicked. As I said, I immediately lifted my steak and hid the coin underneath it. But then, when the waiter announced he was an undercover policeman, I thought I'd had it. If he decided to investigate my slab of meat, that'd be it. I'd be getting my marching orders. So when the cadet here was arrested and taken off to the kitchen, I seized my chance. Also, I guess he did switch it. With military precision and timing, I switched my steak with the one on the foreign lady's table. What? You can't have. I never saw you do such a thing. Because you rushed out, right? It was called Operation Lightning Bolt. There was no time for strategic planning. It was do or die, I tell you. So yes, I did what had to be done. Unbelievable! Okay, so I guess the Wilson's actual plate then is still in the kitchen, I guess. However, fear not, Prosecutor-san. What now? I swear on the brass buttons of my uniform. This is all I did, sir. That is... it's enough.
All you did? That's plenty, Sergeant.
Yes!
Bang. So, if Sergeant knows to switch the plates over, it means he took Miss Brett's steak and the plate it was on back to his own table. Yes, that follows. Inspector Hosonaga.
Yes.
Earlier in this trial, you told the court this. You said that you had not only taken Miss Brett's steak after the incident, but also the sergeant's. That to preserve evidence, you had taken both.
Ah!
Oh, look at that. Chewing on her mask.
That's correct.
So he still has it. Then please present it to the court now. The plate that was actually on the victim's table at the precise moment he was shot. Do it!
What can possibly tell us now? I mean, a cold slab of tough meat. It can't have the slightest bearing on the case.
Objection!
No, you're not wiggling your way out of it this time, lady.
I beg your pardon.
This is chewy.
Surely you're not that forgetful. Surely you remember the reason why the steak pan promises to prove such a problem for you, no? You're the one who decided it was a problem, not me. The reason the defense asked to see the plate was to confirm something the defendant remembers seeing. Thinks he remembers.
I'm quite sure of what I saw, Miss Brett. On the side of the plate that was on the table directly behind Dr. Wilson, there was a clear spattering of blood from the gunshot wound to the victim's chest. I believe the defendant's memory serves him well.
And now we have the evidence to prove it.
The plate you were eating from, Miss Brett. Let us not prolong this any further. Inspector, you will show the evidence to the court. Present the beefsteak and plate that was originally on the victim's table at the time of the incident.
Busted.
Got you now.
Yes, sir.
Okay, this should do it.
Sorry for keeping you.
And there it is.
Here is the other steak in its plate. Please feel free to examine it.
Don't need to examine it too thoroughly. Oh yeah, it doesn't have any bite marks in it.
The blood stain.
It's clearly visible, look!
Yes!
Now, this makes everything clear. The blood you can see on the side of the plate shows that at the moment the victim was shot, he was facing the table with his back to me. In other words, it's impossible for Naruhodo-san to have shot the victim.
Ah! It can't be!
In fact, there's only one person who could possibly have shot Dr. Wilson from the front. I'm sure everyone knows by now who that person is. That's right. Miss Gisely Brett. It's you! Okay. Time for a freak out? I want to see it.
Heart attack? My heart? Outdone by a Japanese? Me? By a Japanese schoolboy? No. No! No!
Oh! It's alive! Everyone duck!
No! Let go! Stop! Stop it! Stop it right now! No!
And she ascends to heaven. She died that day, never to return. Ooh, that killed my voice more than anything. I just kept going. Ooh, lots of little birdies. I always love the final freakouts. And there you have it. Guilt has been proven.
Please excuse my little outburst. I briefly lost my composure.
Now I believe it is time to learn what her motive was. We still don't know that.
Most unbecoming behavior for an English gentlewoman. Forgive me.
Well, Miss Brett, I think it's time you told the court what actually happened that day. The truth this time.
Gladly, Your Excellency.
Okay, let's hear it.
It was I who took the professor's life using Cure. As you surmised, I chose that particular day for one very important reason. The professor had a dental appointment for the extraction of one of his teeth in the morning.
So you planned to kill the professor, knowing that no trace of poison would be found in his water. Because Cure is unheard of here in Japan.
Yes. Of course, I never intended to remain at the restaurant for as long as I did. I only needed to see the professor, take one tiny sip of his water, and it would be all over. I would place the steak I had ordered in front of him to make it appear as though he had been dining alone, and leave immediately. However, before any of that had happened, there was an unexpected visitor at the professor's table.
That would be me, I suppose. Ha, I foiled your plan, did I?
Yes, you. Who else? Such a trifling matter, but the fact that you've decided to come over to greet the professor meant that I had lost my chance to slip away unnoticed. In due course, the professor took a sip of his water and was paralyzed. I made sure he was sitting in his chair such that he wouldn't fall. There was no going back at that point. So I concocted a plan on the spur of the moment.
A plan to pin Dr. Wilson's murder on this innocent man. Okay, yeah, so... I see. Yeah, so she had already slipped in the poison, he had entered paralysis. And yeah, she had to come with that up on the fly, I guess.
I happen to know that the professor always carried a gun.
Ah. I was wondering then, I'm like, how did she get the spare gun? Or... yeah. Or maybe she never had a gun? I don't know.
I decided to use that fact to my advantage. I had the bottle of Cure in my handbag, and my own pistol concealed under my skirt.
Okay, yeah, she did have a gun. Under your skirt? So I was right. There were two guns.
Yes.
And then I finished my coffee and got up to leave. That's when I noticed the professor's gun, which you had presumably placed on the floor. Placed where you were sure that I would notice it.
And everything went according to plan. You noticed the gun as I'd intended. And then, just as you bent down to pick it up...
Bang!
That's when you shot...
Sorry. That's me talking. That's when you shot the professor with your own gun. Even though at that point he was already dead.
Naturally. The gunshot caused a commotion, at which point the waiter appeared.
Obviously, I assumed Naruhodo-san was the culprit and apprehended him. I took him to the pantry that adjoins the kitchen and locked him inside. Ah, okay, so that's how we got in there. I forgot that happened.
That's when I took the opportunity to turn the professor and his chair around.
Ah, okay. Because, of course, you needed to make it look like the defendant had shot Dr. Wilson from where he'd picked up the gun. That.
So, there you have it. That is the entirety of my misdemeanor. And I would have gone away with it too if it weren't for you meddling lawyers. Your Excellency?
Yes?
I wonder. Might I speak with you in private later? If you know what I mean, wink wink.
Yes, I shall call on you.
Thank you. Good day then, everyone. I hope you can forgive me, Naruhodo-san.
It was just business, right? I want to see your face. Nope, she's gonna go away mysteriously. Okay, there we go. It would seem this trial has finally run its course. I presume the prosecution is in agreement?
This can't be. Takatsuchi Ouchi does not lose. Except in every other Phoenix Wright game. I am the first of many losers. Not the likes of this rookie student.
You'd better start getting used to tough opposition.
Arrgh! Ryunosuke Naruhodo!
What? Yes?
This insult to the Ouchi family name will never be forgotten.
You become conceited with age, Counsel, but the old have to stand aside and make way for the new. It's the way of the world. May you never forget that. Yeah, slice him up. There goes his hair. As usual. That is the Kazuma-style sword technique. 1,000 millennia may pass and still the Ouchi clan will never measure up to the Naruhodo clan. Yes, I am superior in every way. This trial in the Supreme Court of Japan will, I believe, go down in history as the start of a new chapter in our country's judicial system. Despite being summoned as the accused, you, Ryunosuke Naruhodo, presented an excellent case. Thank you, Your Excellency. It didn't start off that way. It started off a little rocky. The use of evidence and deduction to unravel the truth is a modern methodology. After all, it has only been a few short decades since our country opened its doors to the wider world. But the Western ideas of science are rapidly gaining acceptance here. I feel sure that science will soon bring new methods of investigation and new procedures of justice. I have a feeling. A new future of law awaits, but what it will look like, I cannot begin to imagine. You will just have to play the next Phoenix Wright game. The one that, I guess, technically the first one. And then go from there. You know the drill. That is for the young to pursue. Kazuma Asagi? Asagi? Yes. After this trial, you are set to embark on a journey of discovery to the illustrious British Empire. Learn all you can, absorb everything of the wider world, and you are able to. And do not forget to fulfill the mission imposed upon you. Ooh, a mission, what's that? I understand, Your Excellency. What was that about? Why do you look so grave all of a sudden? Ah, never mind. As for you, Ryunosuke Naruhodo? Oh, yes? In you I sense, how can I put it, unusual potential. I very much look forward to seeing how you carry that onward. Dare I say, like a phoenix? Thank you, Your Excellency. Sir. Oh, that's right, we gotta declare my innocence. It is time to deliver the final verdict. I hereby find the defendant, Ryunosuke Naruhodo, not guilty! Woo! Let the confetti or the flower petals fly through the air. Yes, that is right. I like it. This court is now adjourned. Okay, a little over an hour and a half in this recording. Let's see it all the way through, though. Hopefully there's only a little bit more left. 22nd November, 2:46 p.m. Supreme Court of Judicature. Defendants. Antechamber 5. Not lobby, antechamber. I can't believe it. I can't believe what's happened. I made it. I defended myself and made it through that horrendous trial. Woohoo! Ryunosuke, you finally pulled it off. Congratulations. Well, I couldn't have done it without you. Thank you, Kazuma. Ha 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 ha. No, it was a pleasure to watch you at work. So, you owe me an extra large sukiyaki from the place on Yume University Street. Don't forget. Good afternoon. All your hard work has certainly paid off. Is it that guy? Oh, it's her. Congratulations to both you for proving Naruhodo-san's innocence. Ah, our trusty judicial assistant. You worked hard for that result too, you know. Oh no, I didn't do anything. Thank you so much. Oh, that's me. Thank you so much. If we hadn't had that research report of Miss Brett's, I don't know how things would have turned out. Your kind words should really be for my father. I was simply doing as he asked. It was his idea for me to go to the university and investigate. Your father? Ah, yes, of course. Forgive me for intruding on court proceedings, Your Excellency. Susato Mikotoba, Judicial Assistant to the Defense. Speaking of Toba. Ah, there you are. I believe congratulations are in order. Naruhodo, you did an excellent job. Thank you, Professor. Oh no, it is I who should be thanking you. After all, your efforts exposed the true criminal that took the life of my good friend. Good friend? Oh yes, you mentioned that before. It was you who actually invited Dr. Wilson to Yume University, wasn't it? Yes, that's right. Professor Mikotoba studied overseas himself. He went to study forensic medicine in Great Britain. Presumably, that's when you met Dr. Wilson. Exactly. In those days, we worked together in the same hospital. Oh, you worked together? I've never heard you mention that before. Well, it was a long time ago now. Besides, it's your turn, Asogi. Great Britain is a magnificent country. It leads the world. In science, medicine, engineering, culture, and of course, in law. Watch and learn, my boy. See what's happening in the world's largest melting pot. I will. I'll learn all that I can. I swear on this, the spirit of the Asogi clan. You're not taking that sword to Great Britain, are you? Of course I am. A Japanese man's katana is a soul. This blade shows me where I need to go. And cuts down anything that's in my way. Yes, I've definitely seen how sharp it is already with my own eyes. You almost killed the prosecutor. That reminds me, what's happened to the woman? To Jeslie Brett, I mean. After all, she's guilty of murder. Oh yes, her. I want to know too. It's not easy to tell you this, but... What do you mean? Give me the deets. Surely she's going to face trial herself now. She's the true culprit after all. Oh great, is it being covered up or something? She will be leaving Japan in the very near future. For Shanghai. What? Shanghai? Okay, and why is that? Jeslie Brett will not appear in court again in this country, I'm certain of that. What? Well, why not? I was saying this. It's a matter of consular jurisdiction. Oh, you. Inspector Hosonaga. It was a hard-fought battle in the courtroom today. Very impressive to watch. I must congratulate... But what's all this about consular jurisdiction? Does she have to be tried in, like, her own country? Although, she's not from Shanghai either. We cannot try this particular foreigner for her crimes here in Japan. What? We can't try her? But then, who? Who's going to bring her to justice? A British consular court will hear her case, somewhere far away where our voices can't be heard. But why a consular court? Professor, I simply don't understand. I thought consular courts were a thing of the past now, that we've signed the friendship treaty. Yes, in normal circumstances, you're right. Then, so long as this is not a serious incident of a highly political nature to our respective governments, they can't invoke a consular court just like that. Oh, can't they? Yes, she's a student, but it doesn't justify our governments making secret agreements about her fate, does it? Something strange is going on. Yeah. Something fishy is afoot. So Miss Brett can't be held accountable for her actions here in Japan? What was all this for then? I mean, it was to get us off the hook, but still. I'm afraid that for the young student, today's trial was nothing more than a game all along. There was never any danger of comeuppance for her. I don't believe it. The British government's Foreign Affairs Minister has demanded that we hand over custody of Miss Brett. They're obviously taking this case of a foreign student committing murder very seriously. I mean, the most we can hope for is that she is tried and convicted there, but kinda stinks that we uncovered all this and it means nothing in the long run. But it's all going to change from now on. We can make it change. This is a time of great turmoil. This new era heralded by the start of the 20th century. One day, I have no doubt, that woman will receive the judgment she deserves. Yes, change is coming, and we're the ones driving it. Well, I think that's enough seriousness for now. This evening called for a celebratory drink. But Professor, you're right. This is no time for gloomy faces. We should be celebrating Ryunosuke's not guilty verdict. Let's start having some fun. Let's do it. Let's go to the beach. In that case, I suggest La Carnival. As the head waiter, I should be delighted to provide you with ample food and drink. You're a detective, Hosonaga-san, aren't you? Let's not worry about details for now. To La Carnival, will you accompany us, Professor? Of course. La Carnival! Food is second to none. I shall go and attend to the paperwork for Naruhodo-san's release. Oh, yes, thank you. Bye for now. My new Maya, most likely. So Jessie Brett won't be tried here. I suppose that means I'll never know. I'll never find out why she killed Dr. Wilson. Oh, dang, that's right. We never actually got a real answer. Which means she's definitely gonna come up at some point later. Kazuma? Yes, Ryunosuke? I just want to say thanks again. That's all. You really saved my skin today. Ha 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 ha. I didn't do a thing. You were the lawyer in there, weren't you? That defense was all your own work. Your skills made the difference, though. One day, I bet you'll be the best lawyer in the world. I'm not so sure about that. To be honest, something kept occurring to me over and over again during the trial. I couldn't help thinking that maybe you're the one destined to become a great lawyer, not me. What? Come on, be serious. If I helped you today, it was only right at the very start of the trial. But you have a natural talent for it. For being a defense lawyer, I mean. Oh no, not me. All that tense verbal combat? I never want to go through that ever again. I did what you told me to do, that's all. Because I knew I could trust you. That's the point. Sorry? What do you mean, that's the point? Listen, Ryunosuke. Do you know what the most crucial weapon is that any lawyer needs in order to win? Knowledge of the law? No. The ability to believe. You gotta believe! To believe? To believe what? A defense lawyer has to fight for his clients. He has to believe in them at all times. Like you believed in me when I said I didn't- like you believed in me when I said I didn't do it. I'm a human, just like you. I don't have some superhuman ability to know the truth. But you have to make a choice about what to believe in and stick to it when you're defending someone. Sometimes in the courtroom, you can really be backed into a corner. But being able to remain faithful to what you chose to believe in, or even then, well, that's not something that anyone can do. It takes a special kind of person. Believing in your client. Just look at today's trial. I'm a student lawyer with a precious little real experience, but you never stopped believing in me. Well, you face seemingly hopeless situations time and again, but you never stopped looking for the truth. And in the end, you found it, through your own efforts. And because you never stopped believing in me. Thanks, Kazuma. My buddy, my pal. He definitely looks a bit sad and sullen, though. There's something I want to ask you, actually, Ryunosuke. You can ask me to come with him? Well, it's a favor, really. Something very important to me. You sound serious. What is... Ah. You're still here, are you? Oh, Inspector Hosonaga. I've arranged some rickshaws for us. Let's go. Thank you. We'll be all right here. Okay. Let's pick up this conversation again later. We should be celebrating right now. Your first court victory. And your study tour to Great Britain, don't forget. Oh yes, that too. Let's go! So my very first trial came to an end. Kazuma, Professor Mikotoba, Suzuto-san, who acted as my assistant, Inspector Hosonaga, who didn't really play much of a part, but still. He was just there, kind of going with the flow, you know. It was because of the help and support of all these people that I managed to get through that trial. But more importantly, Kazuma hadn't yet managed to ask us a favor of me. Little did I realize— oh no, just how much it would change my life. Oh wait, okay. I think he meant how much the favor would change his life. They made it sound like something, before he got the chance to ask, something happened to him. Hopefully not. Like imagine he gets killed or something and then we have to go in his place to do whatever his mission is. Man, that was a very good first case. I liked our culprit. You know, she was that mysterious Brit. I like how they left some loose ends. Again, we still don't know who she is, like who exactly she is, why, you know, the motive for why she killed Dr. Wilson. We pretty much figured everything else out, the hows, we just don't know the whys. And yeah, it was a lot of fun. Again, there were some threads I had to, you know, I didn't quite like fully grasp what they were getting at, but that's what these games do so well. They push you to the conclusions, you know. Whew, so we start the next chapter in the next episode, and we'll get to actually dive into an investigation, because that's how these games work. You start with the kind of tutorial trial, and then you move into, you know, a lot more, you know, lengthy chapters, you know, where you go to an investigation, then you go to trial, there's usually another investigation and another trial, and so on and so forth. So these next 4 chapters, I guess, will be much longer. So strap in for this ride, because I am so excited. After that intro, I'm so excited to see what happens next, and I guess we'll be traveling to Britain, I'm assuming, in this next chapter probably. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Go ahead and like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell if you want to know when more videos go up. Comment below. I'd love to hear what you think of the story so far, what you figured out. Again, please no spoilers in the comments, but I'd love to hear just what your preliminary thoughts are, non-spoilery thoughts. And yeah, I will see you all next time, so take care and goodbye.